Hi everybody, this is Ray Lucina. I'm the instructor for World Lit 1600 to the present this spring summer, and I want to give you just a quick overview to the course. Each week I'll try to post a brief introductory video. This week it's just going to be focused more on the mechanics, but I'll do presentations, or I might just talk you through some of what we're going to be doing in the upcoming week. But for now I want to familiarize you with the mechanics of the course and give you some early heads ups about things to be careful of. I've As I mentioned in this announcement, and do be sure to read the announcements very carefully in the course, and especially this first one, though they're all equally important. Anything that's published to the course, you're expected to have read, and especially the syllabus, student responsibilities, the rubric. I'll show you those in just a second. And then, of course, these announcements. So be sure to read this carefully. At any rate, I haven't taught this course for a couple of years online, so I had neglected to save the previous run of the course out of the learning management system, and so it disappeared on me. But I'm actually glad that happened because it's given me a chance to kind of rethink and redo everything. I've mapped out the reading for the semester, but each week I'll be working on the content that I'll share out with you, the discussion questions, all of that. And I'm excited. I think we'll have some fun with it. I will do my best to always stay a few weeks ahead of you. Right now, I've got the first week's work open only, but during the course of this coming week, I hope to get the next couple of modules ready for you so you can kind of work ahead. There is a chance, and I warn you on the syllabus, there's a chance I may change some of the readings in the class as we go along. So if you are reading ahead, please let me know. And I will let you know if I'm pretty firm on any given work. I don't think I'll change it, but it may be as we go through these 12 weeks. Um, just the way the course conversations have gone, we might get behind, or I might feel you might be able to take on a little bit more, or there might just be themes that we start talking about that I think other works might explore better. So that's that. So read this very carefully. What I want to do now is give you a warning of something I do not want you to do. Here we have updates. 61 quizzes not attempted. Why do we have 61 quizzes not attempted? Because what I've done with the reading quizzes and with some of the other content, I've imported things from a publisher cartridge. So we have a heaping, honking pile of quizzes that are sitting here in the course, most of which we're not going to use. I like to use publishers' reading quizzes just because I find writing quizzes very tedious. And I will go through and I will tweak them, or as I did for this first week's reading, when you've only done a part of the work, I will add some of my own questions and make sure that it suits what I want it to do. But I just hate writing these things. I'd much rather spend time writing fun discussion questions because I think the discussions are really the heart of this kind of course. So never do this. Okay, I would also encourage you not to do this, which is click on the discussions. And again, it's fine. You're not going to find anything really horrible or frightening in here, but as I am working on coming weeks, you might see draft discussion questions popping up here and there. And I just don't want you to get confused. For example, people are sometimes tempted to work ahead. You really shouldn't be working ahead in the discussions in this class because each week's discussion, it's like people coming into a room and talking about literature. So if you do it early, it's like walking into an empty room and talking to it, and then walking out again before everybody else comes into the room. So I don't want you poking around in here only because you might see things in process which might confuse you. So where should you go? Well, grades is where you'll be able to check your grades. And those will all be this. I'm in here as a student who's done nothing yet, and these will change over the course of the semester. We have a weighted grading system, which means each chunk of assessments will be worth a certain percentage of the grade, but I will potentially add in weekly discussions. I will probably have at least 2 more, and I see those are out of order. We will definitely add in weekly reading quizzes. So as those add up, ultimately the discussions will be worth 20% of the grade no matter how many we do. The reading quizzes will be worth 20% of the grade no matter how many we do. Okay, so check your grades over here. And then the rest of the time I want you living in the content area of the course. The content area lets me link together all the resources you need in one place. Okay, so this is where to go. If you want to see the quiz that's actually due in week 1, you look for it here. If you go back to the quizzes area, you might not be able to find it at all. And if you do, you might find a copy of the quiz which doesn't have the right who knows what's lurking under the cobwebs back there. So the way the content area is organized, it's built around these modules. Right now we have 2 modules open: course resources and then the first week's worth. Course resources, read these. I want you to take some time initially, read the syllabus through carefully. You are welcome to ask questions at any time about anything, but I will warn you, teachers get annoyed if you are asking questions which are covered, oops, sorry about that, that are covered on the syllabus. It's a waste of time for us, or it feels like a waste of time sometimes, to answer questions which we've already answered elsewhere. Of course, I'll happily do it. I don't want you to get lost or confused. But if you have a question about something that's on the syllabus, it should be because you didn't understand it or you don't quite remember it, not because you haven't read the syllabus. Students' resources and responsibilities. This is an official document you probably see in most of your courses here at Delta. It'll outline largely college policies. I want you to focus on disruptive student behavior in an online class. That's mainly going to boil down to inappropriate comments posted in discussion forums. I don't have that happen. I'm not that worried about it. And also plagiarism, which is important. You have to be very careful to apply MLA citation style to your papers in here appropriately. And very rarely does somebody try to plagiarize like a discussion board post or something like that. But I'll warn you, I do tend to catch it because I can tell when somebody hasn't written something, especially after I've seen a few posts, and or I'll recognize the site they got it from, because there are certain sites students sometimes go to for information or help understanding a piece of literature. So just be very conscious of those things. The rubric for discussion boards is something I especially want you to take some time with. Oh, the file's not there. I'll have to fix that for you. This rubric is going to outline for you exactly what I'm looking at when I grade the discussion boards, and I will actually use a rubric when I assess those, so you'll actually see the points spread out. You need to read this, and I'm going to assume you've read this, and I'll give you an example of where people fall short on this sometimes. I don't specify the number of follow-ups to other student posts in the discussion questions. Why? Because a rubric tells you how many times to post over the course of the week to get full points, right? It's 4 to 5. And I will sometimes get a student who consistently posts 2 or 3 times, and they don't seem to get why they're not getting full points, even when I point them back to the rubric. And this is why. So read through the rubric carefully. Your discussion board post should be substantive, which will be word count wise 400, 500, 600 words sometimes, which seems like a lot, but again, this is in a face-to-face classroom, this would be 3 hours worth of talking about the work. So this really is your chance to reflect, analyze, and synthesize the information. Okay, so read that carefully, and I'll fix that link. Oh, I did it again, but I will fix that link for you. I actually thought I had. And then 2 discussion forums, and this is what these little thought bubbles or speech bubbles indicate. Questions on the course is a forum for you to ask questions about the mechanics of the course, so due dates and things like that. If you have a question about your own grade or an assignment you wrote, email me with that, though. I'd rather protect your privacy on those sorts of things. But if you have questions about an assignment or an exercise or a due date, this should come in here. Questions on content is here for you to ask questions about what we're reading. So if an idea occurs to you you want to raise with the class, or there's something you're unclear on about, you can ask the question here, and for both of these, I or your classmates can respond. That's one of the beautiful things about these, is that oftentimes if you post and I'm out of the class until the next morning or something, somebody else might know the answer and will post a response, or here they might just get involved with the conversation. Week 1, this is what this is going to look like. Now, this is extremely important. You must click on this first link to see the week's deadlines. Okay, let me do that again. This first link is to our checklist. The checklist is where you will see exactly what is going on for the week, and you can check each off as you complete it. Okay? So again, you'll see the details. The reading here, the viewing I've mapped out here, and I see I've got to straighten that up a little bit. But this is where you're going to be accessing all of this. And as I said, the course is a work in progress. I want to get this video done now, while my son is at school and things are peaceful around the house. You will also oftentimes have a resources folder that will have links to videos, presentations, whatever. This time out, I've got 5 videos for you. I'm asking you to watch these first 3 before you start this week's reading, which is the first chapter of Journey to the West, and then some introductory material to that. Okay? So do that, please. These really lay out very nicely from 3 different perspectives what this whole process of this whole endeavor of reading literature is all about. And then the discussion forums that are due this week are linked here. So an introductory forum, and then a discussion post which will ask you to reflect on the viewing and reading you've done. And then finally here at the very bottom is the actual real reading quiz. So everything is linked to in this module. By the middle of the week, I hope you'll have a week 2 module and hopefully a week 3 module up and running by the end of the week as well. I'd like to stay just a bit ahead of you. So that's it. That is a quick introduction to the course. Again, I'm Ray Lucina. Best way to contact me during the spring summer is to email me, but that does not mean I won't meet you or call you if you want to do a face-to-face or have a telephone conversation. I'm just not physically on campus regularly. I will be out there from time to time, and I can certainly come out there to meet you if you would like to meet, and I can also give you a call if you leave me a callback number. So I am completely accessible to you. Don't feel like because it's an online course your teacher's distant or difficult to get a hold of. Fastest way to get a quick response is an email. And then we can set up something else if you need additional support from there. So that is everything. This is a very long video as it is, so I'm going to end it now. Have a good week, and as I said, I'm here if you're feeling stuck.